Welcome to Emotional Support Water Bottle with Hannah and Ailish. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. Hannah has her house all decorated for Christmas, and it's so cute.
No, it's very festive. I did colored lights this year on the tree. I've never done that before.
It's always a big controversy, colored or white.
I know, it really is. But I thought, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun. And then I found these like little colorful bulbs that were 50% off at Hobby Lobby.
Nice.
And so I got little ones on there too.
I've always been a white light person, but my grandpa has always had colored lights.
I feel like it's a old school thing. I know. I love the white lights though, but I think this color it's been kind of fun to look at it.
It's fun on like for kids, I think too, you know.
I know I want to do more of a kid friendly.
How have they been with the ornaments?
Good, except for when I was putting it up, we lost a lot of bulbs.
Oh no.
Shattered on the ground. Like there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. So I lost some, but
they come in such big packs
that
it was fine. It's just a pain to clean.
And then sometimes they'll like bounce across the whole house, not break.
Yeah.
One tiny little fall.
Yeah, shatter. You even did your cabinets, which looks adorable. You wrapped them like presents.
I forgot I did that. Yeah, I did one, and then I was like, I don't know if I like it. And then my husband said he liked it. Okay, thanks. I had enough ribbon. But yeah, I forgot I did that.
I know you looked over like,
I was like, what did I do?
I have not decorated at all yet. I don't
kind of early.
I know it is early, and I also just like, I don't know, when it's just me, it's just I don't feel like the urgency, and I leave my stuff up for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I
just like the ambiance in it. Like I felt like this past week it got dark early again, like super early. So it's like I just want the glow.
Well, as soon as I have my tree, because I get a real one, so as soon as I get that, it's like game on, like it's time. And then I get that like the weekend of Thanksgiving, so I might get some of my decor out before that, but
you know, it's still very fall outside.
It is, yeah.
I have some cleanup to do out there.
I need to get rid of my pumpkins too.
I know, the rest of mine are on the table.
It's just like, I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. Like you put them outside and critters get them or whatever, like in the back of your yard or something. But it is kind of just like, what do we do with the pumpkins?
I know, especially if you had like the ones inside like this, they stay good.
I know.
Like mine
are inside and they're perfecly fine.
I know, they're nice and solid.
Yeah, not rotting.
No.
Like I could keep them for another month probably.
Literally.
But no, it looks really cute. I do like the glow of the lights. It always makes your house feel so warm and nice.
Cozy, mm-hmm. And I just want to like watch a movie.
I know, and snuggle up with some hot cocoa.
Yes.
Speaking of cocoa, I did like the dumbest thing ever. So I was at Target the other day and they had all these hot chocolate bombs, which I know those have been like a thing for a long time, but they had like a whole, like one side of an aisle filled with hot chocolate bombs, like so many different kinds. It was crazy. So, and they were on sale, so I bought one. And you're supposed to do it with the milk, but I was like, well, I don't have milk. Like I don't drink milk. And you can use regular hot chocolate packets with water. Like it's not as flavorful, but like I'm sure it'll be fine. It was not fine at all.
Did it not work?
No,
or it just tasted like garbage?
It didn't really work, no, because the whole hot chocolate bomb, it didn't have like powder inside. It was just the chocolate. So the chocolate and the water did not mix at all. And it was just like chunks of chocolate. And I tried to stir it up really good and it wasn't making a difference. So when it says use milk, like it really does mean use milk.
See, I've had the chocolate bombs with the powder in it. I wonder how those ones work out.
Yeah, I know. I wonder that too. But this one had marshmallows inside of it, but there wasn't really any like extra powder. So yeah, it was bad. I would definitely get it and use it with milk. But
right. They're really pushing the hot chocolate this year because when I was at TJ Maxx, they had like all kinds of chocolate.
Really?
Hot chocolates, like everywhere, like in different little sets. Like there's like the Harry Potter ones that were like color changing.
Oh yeah.
And there's just a bunch of them.
So many different kinds.
And I'm like, wow, really? And then there was somewhere else I was where they had a bunch of stuff. I'm like, they're just pushing this hot
I know.
chocolate.
I mean, it's like fun for the season.
Like, I don't know.
Who doesn't like hot chocolate?
Especially when it's like caramel hot chocolate.
Yeah, I like the super rich, dark hot chocolate.
Or peppermint.
Yeah, with a bunch of marshmallows on top. The mini marshmallows. So good.
It is good.
I've never tried one of the spoons. Have you
No,
ever done
I've never
that?
done one of those either.
I'm guessing that would be the same as my experience where you need milk and not the water because it's extremely different. So. On a somber note, today when we're recording Wednesday was Liam Payne's funeral.
It was.
And I know that it's a bit morbid, but I could not get enough of the videos and pictures that were being posted because it's just like, it's still so shocking. And I think to see the actual funeral almost made it real.
Right. Where you're like, oh gosh, she's gone. And then it's been, like a month.
Yeah.
Since he passed away. And then it was like, I was just shocked that we were like seeing the casket being like,
I know. I couldn't believe that either.
Carriage.
I couldn't believe that either. I mean, yeah, we got, and there were even some videos that I saw at the like grave site. Like it didn't show what I saw, didn't show them there, but it showed them like around. I mean, yeah, we really got a lot. And then obviously to see all the One Direction boys together and so emotional. I mean, that it hits pretty hard.
I know. It was really sad. I was like, ugh. I know. As soon as I saw that at work, I'm like, I gotta click.
I know. Like, I need to see. There were so many TikToks. I'm like, I'm starved for it.
I know. And just like, I don't know. It was just so weird.
I know. And like Simon Cowell was there and he was really emotional.
I know. I wonder, this is not nice, but I wonder if he's like, oh my gosh, like
oh yeah,
like made this all, like everything that led up to this point,
it was me, basically. Yeah, like the good and the bad, yeah. Ugh. So awful. But I guess, I don't know, we keep hearing like random new things about people getting arrested, and
I know, and like all these different like that hotel worker that like came out and said all this stuff. So I'm curious to see what'll actually end up happening with everything. And it's like there's almost so many like things coming out that you're just like, I don't even know what's true.
I know, and I've been trying really not to feed into stuff either.
Just wait till like official things come out, or like actual statements from like his family or something.
But I do think that we need to hold like these drug dealers and stuff accountable for this, like not only in this case but in other drug related deaths. It's like, if you supplied this, then you should be an accountable party,
right? And it's like you're doing something illegal, accepting money for it,
right? Like we really need to crack down on that. And I know it feels like in recent years we've heard more about, like drug related deaths, and then whoever supplied it has gotten some sort of conviction. But I know, like, I don't know, even like a handful of years ago, I feel like that wasn't as prevalent.
Right. It was just kind of like, they passed away, just kind of let it go. Yeah. And this and that was in their system.
Yeah.
I know, because it seemed like even with Matthew Perry, like they were pushing forward to convict somebody too. So it's like, I don't know.
I know.
It's so heavy.
I know it is so heavy. It's so sad.
I know, and it's just sad when you like see somebody who is struggling and then somebody takes advantage of that.
Yes, I know.
It's like clearly you can tell a person isn't well, and then you're like giving them stuff. It's just wild.
Like, that's horrible. That's so awful. So I guess that's for now the chapter is closed, and then we'll see
what else happens.
Yeah. On a completely different note, that Emelia Perez movie is on Netflix. That one that got all that talk with. Yeah, it was a Netflix release, and which I didn't realize.
They filmed that and put that out really fast.
Well,
right?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I honestly am having a difficult time getting through it. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with like the quick-ish turnaround time.
Because wasn't it not even like a couple months ago we saw like Selena Gomez posted with that book or something?
Yeah,
I mean, then it was like
it's like the timeline feels weird. So I don't know if because realistically, it probably took a while. Like, were they just holding it out on posting? Like, I don't know, but I went into it blind, and I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I had heard that it's like a musical, but the way that aspect is being tied in is really weird. The whole thing is in Spanish, so it's subtitled, which is fine. I mean, it just means you have to pay attention a little bit more. But in this case, it wasn't really holding my attention, so I found it a little bit difficult to keep reading everything. I'm going to try and finish it, but from what I've seen so far, like, I am baffled that this is getting Oscar buzz. Like,
oh yeah, I did see that where it was like picture of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
like, really?
And I know that there's been like movies that maybe we just don't like get, and they're getting Oscar worthy stuff. But I've seen stuff online too where other people are like, this movie isn't good. So I don't know if maybe people were just jumping the gun with the Oscar thing because it's like Zoe Saldana and Selena Gomez and this. I get it's a book and it's like exciting that it's in a movie, but I don't know. I'm not really a fan right now. So we'll see. I'll let you know. Selena has not arrived on the scene yet. I'll let you know.
So maybe her parts were filmed quick then.
Yeah, maybe because she's not like, because Zoe Saldana is definitely the main. And the whole time, I would like your take on this at some point if you like look at pictures or end up watching some of it. I am very distracted because it seems like Zoe Saldana has a wig on, but I literally can't tell. Like, there's just something about her hair.
Do you think it's just to look more like the person or something?
Yeah, like it's just like the thickness of it almost. It just doesn't look like, it just looks off. And that's distracting me because it's not like, from what I'm seeing right now, her hair is like in this braid, like pulled back braid, and it just doesn't look like her hair. And maybe it is and it's just me, but it just is, it's throwing me off, and I don't know why I'm so fixated on it. Maybe because I'm just so like Nicole Kidman coded with spotting wigs right now. But like,
why can't she just like, even Nicole Kidman, it's like, why can't we just have the person have your hair?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, even if you have gorgeous hair, you could still make it look disheveled if it needs to show.
Yeah, I mean, I understand a wig if it's like, I have black hair and the person's blonde and I'm not going to go blonde. Like, I get that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really understand Nicole Kidman. Like, she wears a wig for everything. Like, why?
I know.
Like, I don't know if you can even fully
tell because it's not
in the pictures. And it might just be me, but I'm just so fixated on it for no reason. There's just something
I can't tell from pictures.
There's something about it when it's like in movement in the movie that just it's screaming wig to me. But it might not be. It might be her. But anyway, I don't know. The movie, it's not piquing my interest right now. So. And I really wanted this past weekend. I really wanted to go see I keep wanting to say Covenant, and it's not that. The one about the Pope, choosing the popes. Why can't I always want to say Covenant, and it's wrong. See something, but anyway, I wanted to see that really bad. But it just didn't work out with the timing of when the movies were and when I was in the area of the movie theater. So I didn't. Conclave, yeah. So I didn't get to see that. So maybe this weekend I'll do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that other movie with, who was it? Oh my God, remember we saw the preview?
Heretic?
No, I did that one. I did want to see too, but the one about, oh my God, I see their faces and I can't think of their names. They go on that trip. Then it's like this emotional journey. They're like cousins or something. It's with Kate, isn't it? It wasn't Casey Affleck. Oh my God, this is dumb. It's in the movie theaters right now. Payne. I don't remember. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to edit this out. Who is it with? Anyway, it looked good. We saw it. They go to like Israel or something.
Was it two guys?
Yeah.
Oh, with Culkin?
Yes.
And
Kieran Culkin.
And
All Good Pain or something
Jesse
like that. Eisenberg. Yes.
Who did I just see was like the director of that or was involved with that?
I think Jesse Eisenberg has a hand in it himself.
I thought
somebody else. Is it? It's something.
Real Pain.
Real Pain. Okay, I wasn't really that close, but I had Pain. That one looked like
I thought that looked fun.
Yeah. And I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, and he's funny. Oh yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is the director, and Emma Stone was a producer.
Oh, she's involved. Okay,
they're just getting their little.
She has her paws and everything right now.
Well, yeah. I'll just talk about it in a second. But anyway, yeah, I feel like all these actresses are getting their little producing credits.
Well, that's remember in the book that we read, Hits, Flops, and Other whatever. They were saying that law where like you can't be listed as a producer unless you actually did like some producing on it. But I feel like they've definitely made that a lot easier to do than maybe it was in the past.
And it's like anybody who's like, oh, Emma Stone's part of this, she's funny. This is probably, it's like just to have her name there, you're like, oh,
interesting. Or when you're pitching it, it's like, we've got Emma Stone
believes in this, Oscar winner.
Yeah. How can we say no? Sure, we'll give you funding.
Yeah, I thought that looked like a cute movie too, where it was almost looks like a buddy comedy, but like more
emotional
indie.
too. Yeah. And then Gladiator 2 is coming out as well. I would see that, but I wouldn't go to theaters, even though I think it's probably best watched in theaters. Yeah. But it's just not one that I'm like dying to see. Although, you know, Paul Mescal's looking pretty good. Like a babe and a half. But did you hear the Denzel Washington like kiss that happened on the film, but they cut it?
Oh no.
Apparently.
Oh wait, I think I did hear something about that, and I was like, what?
Yeah, apparently there was a gay kiss that happened, and
that didn't go well with the test audiences,
so they got it. Well, apparently, I didn't like read deep into it, but they made it sound like it was just like in the heat of the moment, like they kind of just
so they didn't even want it in there.
Yeah, like that's what the characters would do in that moment. And I don't even know who the other male actor is that was involved, but I just thought that was like interesting because I don't know, this is like dumb to say, but you just wouldn't expect Denzel to be that kind of actor, you know, right. But I guess he's just so dedicated, and if that's the way it felt right for the character, he was just committed to doing that, and then they cut it. So
I'd be mad.
I know. Like anytime if I was an actor and did any type of like physical thing like that, I would be mad if it was cut.
No, they probably sat him down like, so
you went off script a little bit.
I have to cut that scene. That was awesome. Loved it.
But
we're cutting it.
How old is Denzel? In his like 60s or 70s?
I don't know. I feel like
he looks
just been so good. I know, and he's just been acting since the beginning of time.
Yeah. And he still looks amazing. Like he just is a little more salt and peppery.
69.
Wow. Okay. So almost 70. Love it. Love it, Denzel. You get it.
I watched My Old Ass because it's on Prime.
Yeah.
I think I watched it Thursday or Friday. It was not at all what I thought it was gonna be. I don't know if I didn't, because remember we had that conversation about the two different trailer versions? Do you want me to just... Are you gonna watch it?
Well, no, I don't have time, so...
That's true. Basically, this young girl is like getting ready to go to college, yada, yada, yada. She does the drugs, that her older self comes. It's like, that's all obvious.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza is the older version. And then they like address the fact that they don't look alike at all.
Oh, that's funny.
But then they did kind of do something a little bit funny where they're like, oh, you look like mom. And so they made it look more. She was like, yeah, I guess I just kind of turned into her. I don't know. Like, I guess we can explain that away. And they even like the little gap in Aubrey Plaza's teeth. She's like, yeah, so wear your retainer. And then and she's like, I need you to not fall in love with this or stay away from Chad. Like, this movie was nothing. Like, I thought, she's like, stay away from Chad. She's like, okay. And then in the meantime, she's like hooking up with this girl. And then she meets Chad. And then she's like, no, I have to stay away from you. Blah, 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 blah. Stays away from him. But then, like, can't too.
Yeah, of course.
And then she's like, I'm kind of confused because it's like, I like this girl. And then, like, and Maddie Ziegler was in it as the friend that really didn't do much to push the story along. Then she has another friend, but I didn't know that actress. And then like the girl she's hooking up with. And then anyway, so by the end, so the whole time she's like trying not to fall in love with this guy, but they're like falling in love. I had no idea it was going with this direction. So Aubrey Plaza's like not even in it.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
She comes that one time, but I think the whole movie only takes place over a couple of days, but I might have misunderstood that.
Okay.
And then she like, Aubrey Plaza like goes away on this like retreat. And so she can't get a hold of her. In the meantime, she falls in love with Chad. And she's like, what is even the problem? And then she finally, Aubrey Plaza, shows back up. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, they have one phone conversation, the initial thing, and then this end thing.
And that was it.
Yeah. And then she's like, what's the big deal? Like, I can't find anything wrong with him. And it's like, all this stuff, like, he's good friends with, like, she gets along with the family. Like, there's just all this stuff. She goes, because he dies and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's the worst heartbreak of your life. And she's like, okay. And then, so then they have like this thing or whatever. And then she's like, no, like, I am still going to fall in love with him because that's just what you do. Like, that's part of life, like bad stuff happens. And then she like tells the older version of herself that. And then Chad like shows, I actually did cry because it was like the Chad shows up and then like older her gets to like hug. He's like, hi, because they just did this stupid thing where it's like, it's my uncle Veronica or something. I can't remember what they say. Just like that random humor was in this. And he's like, hi, and they like hug, and it was really sweet that she got to like hug him again when he was like still alive. And that's how it ends.
Okay, so they literally marketed it
so like I know
different.
See, that's what I thought. I'm like, I did not think this was gonna be a love story.
I thought that it was like a coming of age.
Yeah.
And like it was basically gonna be like her and Aubrey Plaza the whole time.
Yeah, like trying to stop. Like, I thought it was going to be, like, Aubrey trying to stop stuff, but then it ends up happening anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it was going to go. But no, it was, like, a literal love story.
Oh, my God.
And it was, like,
what the heck was the, like, marketing PR team doing?
It was so confusing. You want to talk about bad marketing on that? It ends with us.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Totally different.
I mean, because I swear the initial trailer was like, this is like a stoner film.
Yeah.
And like we're doing shrooms and then my older self come. Like that is totally, and like it's funny and like, and then they totally switched gears. They're like, no, it's an emotional coming of age. And then in real life, no, it's a literal, and Aubrey Plaza's hardly in it.
I know, like, hardly in it at all. And there was, like, a couple of funny scenes. Like, she tries to do the drugs again to get Aubrey back. And she does, like, this whole Justin Bieber. Like, I don't even know, but it was really funny. Like, they had her dressed as Justin Bieber and singing. And then the one less lonely girl was Chad. So they had him with, like, the stuff in his hair like that girl. Like a girl that would get that same too. So there's like a couple funny words, but it really wasn't funny. It was sad.
That's and really weird.
I know, because then it was like, spend more time with your family. Like, you should do that.
Good God.
I know. I was like, so it was, but then it was almost like, I guess they learned stuff from each other. But anyway, the director is that Megan Park from from The Secret Life of American Teenagers.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I was like,
that show.
Gosh, that took me, watching that
I'm actually like traumatized by that show.
I know, and like when freaking Adrian had that miscarriage,
I can't believe, and the fact that show
went on and on and on.
I know.
It's so hard to believe that that's the same Shailene Woodley.
I know.
Because she was so miserable in that show.
Her character was terrible.
Yeah. She was a brat.
Yeah, she was horrible. You had no sympathy for her whatsoever.
It was awful.
The fact that was an ABC Family show, too, is what is, like, shocking.
And it had that weird fast-talking, like, dialogue, too. It was like, but it was Grace in that show, The Blonde. But Margot Robbie is a producer. And the only reason I know that is because I saw pictures from set. I wonder if I was creeping on Megan Park's Instagram and I seen Margot Robbie sitting there on set.
Little hands and everything.
She's got her gorgeous little figure, delicate angel baby figures and everything.
Everything. I know. Must be nice.
I know, right? just slipping in,
Just
like, oh,
be
she's going to do the
involved.
mom thing.
Yeah.
Have all these kids to be produced and pop into set, make sure everything's going okay, and leave.
Yeah.
Anyway, totally different. Actually, I would say sad. Another thing, though, I was Gen Z, because this was like a Gen Z.
Yeah, movie. Yeah.
Sometimes and I'm sure like the millennials, people thought that too, like when they were portrayed in movies were like annoying, but good gosh, the Gen Z, like.
I know, it's hard.
It is, and then I'm like, are they even really like this? And then we get students where I work, and I'm like, no, they're like this.
Yeah,
like,
I
they
know.
Are fully...
It feels like a caricature almost.
Yeah, like this, and like the dressing, like the clothes they wear sometimes. I feel like an old lady. But like I'm talking specifically more in like I feel like they were dressing her as what the TikTok thing, like what influencer Gen Z looks like. Like I don't know.
It's just like I mean, I guess we all went with the trends and stuff, but it felt like we had a direction with our fashion.
Right, or like even though we were in high school, I felt like high schoolers and, I don't know, early 20s, we were all wearing skinny jeans, a cami, and a cardigan.
Yeah.
And it was just, everybody was wearing that. And like, it could almost like mature with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, it just, I don't even know how to like say it without being such a crotchety oldie, but
well, and I think too, like the way that's being presented in media, it's like this is going to, like, I just feel like movies aren't being made in a way that is timeless anymore.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna, if I watch this in, I don't know, 7 years, I'm like, you know, like it would just kind of take me out of it a little bit. Where I feel like when I'm watching a Mean Girls, it's like the style was its own character.
Yeah,
it wasn't
so
trying
true.
to be. I don't know. It's just like kind of different.
Well, I think too that we were more focused on things that were like flattering to us still, and that's what kind of gets me. And I mean, I don't know. Like sometimes the clothes and the style that these younger kids have, I'm like. But it literally doesn't look good on you. Like, it doesn't do anything for you. So I guess
perfect hourglass.
Yeah. So I guess I just don't get, like, why are you wearing it?
I know, and I mean, part of it is kind of cool where it's, like, a little bit boyish but still girlish. Like, that's fun to me. But when I think of, like, dressing, like, oversized and, like, typically not flattering stuff, but if I think of the Olsen twins who are wearing these oversized stuff, they're not trying to cinch in their waist. They still look really chic.
Yeah, cool. Totally.
So it's like there's like this way to do it, and I don't think
it's kind of sloppy looking almost.
And it is, and it just kind of took me out. I don't want to say it took me out of the movie, but I think it was a little distracting where we could have just put her, you know, in the like wide leg jeans and like a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, it also feels like they try to do too much with it. Like
where it's becoming like its own character in a bad way.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like, oh, this is what the kids are actually wearing. It feels like this is what you think the kids are wearing.
Yeah, this is what a millennial styling age.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work. Like, because when you look back at like the movies from the 2000s or whatever, like I feel like you can really see like, yeah, that's what they were wearing. Like with Saltburn even, we're like, this is exactly what we were wearing.
Took me right back.
Yes, and I think that they actually did a lot of research and, you know, like work into that.
Right.
But if you just kind of like half-ass it,
right,
then it really, I think it makes an impact in a negative way.
I know, and I thought that the two friends and then like the girl she was hooking up with, they all looked fine. It was just like the main girl. Like, and I didn't think, like, she needed this super unique style. Like, she just could have been... Like, like I said, I think it would have been cool to just see her in jeans and, like, a t-shirt and then maybe, like, a cool jacket.
Yeah.
Or, like, cool shorts or something. And I think... I don't know.
They just did, like, too much, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I see a lot of kids, too, when they're wearing, like, pajama pants, sweatpants. Like, I don't see a lot of kids that are actually dressing like that, and that could be where we are.
Right.
But it's also just like, okay, well, if I don't think that's how a teenager is dressing, if that's not how I'm seeing it, then that does take me out of it a little bit, too.
It did, especially because it was, like, hers was so noticeable. And, like, that's what I wanted to bring up. The guy who played Chad
The fact that his name is Chad.
I know, maybe it's not even Chad. I'm making that up. Is the guy... Do you remember that drama on the Wednesday show? And there was a guy in the Wednesday that, like, got fired because he had allegations against him?
Yes. But I don't think I would know the guy if you pointed him out.
Well, it took me a while, like, staring at it because he looked different than when I had seen him. That was who played it, and I was really surprised about that. And I don't know what... I meant to look that up, what happened with those allegations, but then to have them play, like, this perfect, sweet...
Yeah, they picked him up for this.
Guy. Yeah, I was, like, a little surprised, and he looked different, but even he... What I was going to say about his style is, like, that looked like that kind of, like, I don't even know, like, bohemian boy type thing. And, like, it worked a little bit... It just worked better. I don't know. It was just the main character that I just...
It didn't vibe with,
Anyway.
Well...
So, not what I was expecting that movie to be.
At all?
Nope.
Interesting.
Rainey Qualley was on Rachel Bilson's podcast, and I was like, who's Rainey Qualley? Is that Margaret Qualley's sister? It is.
Okay.
And they have a brother. I didn't know that there was... I guess I've never really heard much about, like, Andy McDowell or whatever.
Her kids, no.
No.
Except for Margaret.
Margaret, the song. I like that song.
So,
she
was younger sister?
Older. Margaret's the youngest. It goes the brother, the sister, and then Margaret.
Interesting.
Totally different vibe. But, like, still that same, like, I grew up in California, Nepo baby vibe. But,
not, like, kind of dorky?
No. Kind of, like, well, of course they were having that typical, I froze my eggs. Oh. You know, I'm just so sick of that privileged conversation. But anyway, they were kind of, like, talking about that kind of stuff. And then she's like, yeah, I want to do the real, like, hippie, but just like that total, like, Nikki Reed, Rachel Bilson vibe.
Grinds my gears.
So, you know, generational. It's like that slightly older millennial.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
I know. Yeah, she's 35, but she's really pretty.
Well, she looks really young. I mean, those could have been from whenever, but she looks amazing. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's really
Is
pretty.
She like she's a singer?
She does singing, and then she has done acting.
Okay. I can't say I've ever heard of her.
No, me either. Yeah, she sings. I meant to look up some of her music, but then I didn't. But then she's, like, doing some songwriting stuff that she wants to, like, kind of do for other people a little bit, too. And then she's having the baby. But anyway, she was just kind of interesting, and I was just, like, looking at pictures of her, and it was kind of fun. And she was talking about her sister. And she's like, I'm really close to my brother and my sister, but my sister's, you know, my best friend. I always say that.
Must be nice.
And then but then it's, like, so annoying when celebrities don't, like, say their name. Like,
I know.
She's like, my sister and her husband. You mean Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley was just in the Substance? That stuff always. I'm like, or like when they're like, because Rachel will always be like, my daughter's dad. I'm like,
you mean Hayden Christensen?
Like, stop me.
Don't act like we don't know.
Literally, and they always, but it's like, every time celebrities do that, like my husband or my ex, or like,
you're like, oh, you mean like the biggest star in the world?
Like, shut up. But she did that. I don't think they said Margaret's name one time. I'm like, dude.
Like, why?
Literally. Because what if I didn't know?
Yeah. And like, I guess I just don't, unless she asked you not to, but she's not like a super private person, so I don't know why she would ask that.
I know. And then they were like talking about the dad and stuff, and they were like, yeah, your dad's pretty good looking. Like, yeah, he is.
That's not an awkward thing at all. Yeah.
But it was just funny. But yeah, they definitely had that California Nepo baby vibe, which it's like
you can't fault them for it because it is who they are. But
I know, it's just like when they talk about things, like they're just always so worldly and like cool. And it's like, of course you're cool and worldly.
I know. And it's like, and even when they say, you're like, but are you? Because you're still so out of touch.
I know. You know? That's the other thing. You're like, okay. But I mean, she was fine.
Yeah.
And she said her sister was coming in and her husband were coming in town for the baby to be born or whatever. She's going to go to the birthing center. And
so does she have a partner, or did she just?
Yeah, she's engaged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess she was like freezing her eggs, and then she's like, then we got together, but I couldn't figure out the timeline of her, and cause she's like, I was in this long-term relationship, and I got in this new one, so it sounds like they got like pregnant really fast.
Right away.
And they didn't end up needing to freeze the eggs or whatever, but then she was talking about how, like we talked about, the gynecologist scared her so bad because she's older. But anyway, but then
it's just such a, like, just a freezing eggs thing, because I just saw that Florence Pugh was talking about that too, and I guess did she have like endometriosis or some issue with her ovaries, and so like I get why but it's like on one hand, it is annoying to me because that is a luxury that I will never be able to afford. But on the other hand,
unless they make it allegedly the insurance is going to have to pay.
Well, my insurance is so bad. There's no way that will ever be covered.
They're like, we'll cover it, but it's going to cost you another million.
It's still going to cost you a ton of money. But on the other hand, I'm like, if I could do that, I would.
I know. It's kind of, I think the celebrities are like, they think they're bringing awareness to it and just being like, hey, you have options. Like, we don't have to blah, blah, blah. But I don't think they really understand, like, the average person can't afford that.
Yeah.
And when you're saying that kind of stuff, like, even, we'll probably get into it more on our book club thing.
Yeah.
But even, like, when they're like, yeah, I just went to therapy. Yeah, I just went away from my mental health.
Not everybody can.
I know. And then the way they talk about it, like, it can be, like, kind of, like,
condescending almost.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, that must be nice for you.
Yeah.
Not to be, like, bratty,
I
but
know,
it's like...
But, and, I mean, even, I mean, I think, like, with the Rebel Wilson book, too, like, I feel like her whole story made me, like, sympathize with her a bit more with it, and like I
think like actually getting somebody's mindset and then her talking about like her health part of it too helps. But when you just randomly hear like Florence
I froze my eggs, you're like, oh, because you just wanted to, because you were 26 and you were like, might as well. And then like the next year you got pregnant and you never even have to use those frozen eggs, but you still pay the tens of thousands of dollars to keep them frozen for the next 10 years just in case. Like, that must be nice. So I know, I feel so like again, if I had that option, I would do it. I absolutely would do it. But like
because it's not this accessible thing. It's like frustrating sometimes, or like I can't help but roll my eyes when it's like, of course you did.
Yeah, I know. It's like every freaking celebrity woman probably has her eggs frozen.
Literally.
In the freaking cryo banks or whatever the heck they're called. Like, it just, I don't know.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
This is Also Podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
We're unapologetically full of opinions on books, podcasts, food, and reality TV.
Join us weekly for deep dives on Vanderpump Rules and Summer House, as well as pop culture news, gossip, and even our own lives.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Well,
Anyway.
I finished Love is Blind, the new season.
Okay.
It's not a lot. There was some like heavy stuff. I don't know what's going on with everybody lately. Everything's so heavy, but this season was a little heavy, and like there was a lot of like intense conversations.
Really? Like in the pods or out or both?
Both.
Wow.
All over the place. So this one couple, he tells her that he was a sperm donor, and like some of it too, because I was like doing stuff, so I might be missing some things. But basically, he was a sperm donor. I don't know exactly what he told her, but later you find out that he actually did it for his female friend who was married to a woman. So it's like somebody he knows.
Okay.
And my understanding is it's multiple kids.
Oh.
And the wife of his friend ends up like leaving.
Oh gosh.
And so he kind of becomes up like
the dad.
Sort of like he's in their life, but not like a dad. And he didn't really mention that to her.
Oh.
And so she got kind of upset. She's like, what's going to happen with this? And it was such an intense, like, I'm like, I don't even know what you would do at that point. But they do end up getting married, but they have since gotten a divorce. But she like on the reunion explained it more. She's like, look, we talked more about it. I wasn't completely blindsided, but like it was still a lot.
Yeah.
Then I was like, whoa. Then there was this couple where she had been in the army or the military, and he came from, I think it was Venezuela, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
And he, he was in a country that was affected by war, and they kind of like got into it a little bit about that, whereas like he was like, I'm pretty against that, and she was like, well, I'm proud to have served, and like all my friends are basically in.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a heavy conversation, and he was really like thrown off. And then when they did like the meeting with the friends who were also in the army or like military, and they're like, well, what if she decided to do it again? And he's like, she said she wouldn't though, because then they had that conversation. They're like, but what if she does? And it was like, he's like, I don't know if I would be able to support that. Like I can get it was insane. And then they had this whole conversation about birth control. And she was kind of like, well, I don't want to be on a birth control, like a hormonal birth control. And then he was like saying like, well, he didn't want to use condoms. And it was like, he's like, well, it should be good for both of, like, it was so,
oh my gosh,
weird.
Well, they kind of had that conversation last season with one of the couples too. I remember about birth control.
I didn't watch last season. That was
season. They were they ended up, I think, just doing more like, I can't remember if they just did like natural family planning or if she did end up going on birth control. But yeah, I was kind of surprised by the frankness of their conversation too. Like
right on camera.
Yeah, I mean, fully, because she's like, I don't want to be on that. I don't get why it has to be all on me.
Right.
But they ended up working it out. So
it's so, I know you're like, gosh, I feel like I'm intruding.
Yeah, I know. It's so personal.
I know. And it's like, I think it's cool that they're showing these different kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
And like, because I feel like a lot of couples don't have
them. They just don't talk about that kind of stuff.
No. So that was an intense one. I'm trying to think of what other couples. Yeah, there's just a lot of, and there was this one couple that was like scaring me towards the end. I definitely felt like this wasn't a very successful season.
Oh, really?
And only 2 couples ended up getting married.
And then you said the one
is divorced. The other one is still together. And then I felt like there was a lot of like, because even when they were in the pods, I'm like, they're picking the wrong person. Like, and you're like seeing it too. And I just wonder how everything would have panned out had they picked like the person they should have picked.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty intense. But I thought there was this one part at the reunion where the one girl was like, you were saying things about my looks behind my back. You were saying I was a grenade.
Oh,
and
I haven't heard that term in a while.
And the way everyone, I like was just laughing because it's like everyone knew exactly what a grenade was. And I just thought that was hilarious. I'm like, we didn't need any preface. We all know exactly what a grenade is and what a grenade means. And I just had to laugh. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. The way we just all know exactly what that means. And we're like, oh, how could he?
I remember just thinking about that, like being in like a frat house or whatever, and you know, you're like dancing and you don't even know who you're dancing with because it's dark and like you don't turn around, and we'd be like like the symbol of like grenade
right.
to each other if it was bad, or like you know, the looks that we'd give each other, or like whisper in the ear, and then you're like, no, it's fine, and then the lights come on, you're like, oh sweet God.
Well, and then there was the grenades were like the heavier set unattractive women, and the landmines were the skinny unattractive. It's like, this is awful. Just thinking about all those like terms and stuff. Gosh, they were awful. But it was
from Jersey Shore.
And the fact that anyone was even using the term grenade,
I know,
is so.
I know.
And I think that person was. I think the guy was 28. Oh, I guess he's our age then. But
so
I was still kind of like, how old? You're younger. How do you even know?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was an interesting season, that's for sure. Not very successful. And a lot of couples ended it before they got to the aisle.
Wow. I mean, I guess that's
better.
Good. Yeah.
That's better, but I was surprised that
they did it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. It was a different season.
Different, yeah. I don't think I've watched any other shows this week, like other than what we already discussed. I don't think I did either. I was because I'm watching Salt Lake City, so I've been like catching up on that, and I don't know. I've been going like a few weeks without watching, and then I'll just catch up, or then I have my sports that are on, so that takes up some of my time too. But yeah, I don't think I've been wanting to find another series to watch, like, but I just can't pick one.
I know, or like, what do I really want to dive into? And then you're like, but I'd rather watch a movie and then like get it done in 2 nights.
Right. Yeah.
Not watch something for 3 days.
Yeah. And then get back into something new.
I know. I'm like, I want like a good show. I feel like there's one recently that I was like, that might be
I heard a lot of people talking about that Your Honor with Bryan Cranston, which I remember hearing about that when it originally came out. And I don't know if that was like a Max or Paramount or whatever it was on originally, but now it's on Netflix, and I heard that's really good. But I'm so torn because, you know, that's a couple years old. I'm like, do I want something that's newer, or do I want something that is more seasons? I mean, there's a couple things that I used to watch The Umbrella Academy, and that had come out with its season, and I haven't watched that yet, but I don't know why I'm not like rushing to watch
I know, I'm having a hard time, even with that Love is Blind. Once I actually get it on, I like it, or like Shameless. Once I put it on, I want to watch it, but it's so hard to like turn it on.
I know. And it's just the quality of some stuff isn't really that great either. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of picky. And then I want to be in tune with the award season stuff because that's like going to be coming up. But I don't know. Like, I don't have the opportunity to watch all those movies.
I know. You just don't even have access to them at this point.
Right. So I don't know. If anybody has any recommendations, let us know. A good show. I don't know. I think I want like a good drama. Something we can sink our teeth into. We did talk about rewatching Gossip Girl, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff on TikTok about people that are rewatching Gossip Girl. But now I feel like it's not the time to do it because it's around the holidays. And the thing is, if we do like watch it and then like we wanted to do like a Patreon or something, like it would be so hard. Like I would just want to blow through.
Going, I know because especially the first 2 seasons are just so good.
Yeah. But anyway, this is kind of random, but just was seeing Kylie Jenner dropped like her new holiday stuff with her Kai clothing line, and like, you know, it looks really cute, and I think she did that with like Emelia. I think it was Amelia Hamilton. And then, you know, they look great. They have these like perfect bodies, and I'm like, I don't know what holiday parties you're going to, but like I could never wear that to my family event. But and then I was looking because I don't know if I like looked on the site or it was just a screenshot of something was there. They're not even horribly priced items.
Yeah, I think I remember that one time I looked like back on something and I was like, this actually isn't as expensive as I was thinking.
Yeah, like I mean they're definitely a little higher. Like it would be a splurge purchase, but it's not unattainable. You know, like I could buy it if I wanted to.
Right.
And I was just, I don't know, I'm not like shocked, but I'm a little bit surprised. Like you just don't always expect things to be at a reasonable price point when it's a celeb brand. And that,
I know, they're like,
it actually is.
I know, like I went to, because I was looking at those like Amanda Seyfried's basically cardboard box like house things for kids.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember how much it was. I'm like, this is a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Like I can't. No.
Yeah.
It's a good company. I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so annoying. Every time you see something a celebrity promotes, it's like, I like their business. You're like,
it's gonna be out of my price range.
Right.
Yeah. Even like the new, look, we've talked about this multiple times, but with like Hailey Bieber's Road stuff, I just wish that was in Sephora or Ulta so I could touch something.
I know, because I was going to buy the kit. Because you got that cool bag.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and you got all full size products. And I was like, I'm going to get it. And I think it wasn't even like horrible. I think it was like 100 or something.
For everything that you're getting.
Yeah.
Too.
And it was all full size. And then I was like, I just don't know if I need this product or this product. But if I could touch it.
I know. Because even like I did get, I've told you before, I got that blush and I did get one of the lip tints or the peptide treatments. I mean, and I like both of them. I love the blush, and the lip gloss is like fine, but I want another lip gloss, but I'm just like, I just wish that, yeah. And like I know it's with a gloss, like typically the color isn't so dramatic, but with some of those darker ones, like I still want to try it on myself.
I know, because what if it doesn't look right on you?
Yeah.
I know that. I know. I always think that with her
like,
stuff. I'm like, I want
to go to Sephora, please.
Or even like Dillard's or something, like a department store, anything that we could just get our mitts
And she did do some pop-ups, but of course they're never by us. It was like London, New York, LA. Like, well, that doesn't help me. Like I know. I want to go and feel the products, and I would buy them. Like I literally would have no qualms. I'd be like, yes, take the card.
I know. And I've heard that a lot of people like the face wash, but it's like, I want to touch it.
Yeah, I know.
I want to see what that glaze does.
I want to smell it. I want to feel it on my hand.
I don't actually see how big the packaging is.
Because that was the thing too with the blush. I mean, of course, I could have like measured out with the specs, whatever.
Right.
And I know it's called the pocket blush, but I
Well,
was
you're
surprised
so
at
like,
how tiny
"Whoa."
it was.
Right.
But then, I mean, I literally used
don't
one
need much,
dot.
right.
It's such a, like, that's going to last so long. But I was still surprised when it
Right.
came in the
You're like,
mail.
oh, goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe she's in talks. I'm sure that she is. Like, I highly doubt that she just wants to stay online.
Right. But it makes it more exclusive.
Yeah.
So then that gives like, so like I get it, but
and obviously
like
people
that.
are buying,
Right.
you know, it's
So
not
it's like
holding
anything
people
she's
back. It's
doing,
just an
right.
us problem.
I know.
Well, whatever. I mean, yes. And with the Kylie like clothing and stuff, like even some of the other things that she's had, the other drops, like I think that they're so cute, but I just am not confident that that's going to look good on my body.
I know, because it's for the influencer body.
Yeah. And it, like, of course, it looks amazing on Kylie. What
Right.
doesn't look amazing on her? But like, if I wore one of those dresses, okay, like,
won't.
yeah, I'm probably not going to look good.
I know.
So then that's where I wish that was in like a boutique or something.
Yeah, so I could just like look at it, try it on, and it's like you could return it, but it's just like that's annoying.
I know. Yeah.
You're like, oh, it doesn't look good on me, just like I suspected. But I'm wasting my time.
Yeah. And then I'll just feel bad for myself in the dressing room instead of in my bedroom where now I have to send this back.
I'm like, I was too fat.
Yeah, I know.
Anywho.
Anyway, any other timely topics?
Nope.
Did you watch Beverly Hills?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I did, but we don't have to talk about it. I do think though that I think Beverly Hills is my favorite city.
It used to be. I don't know.
Which one would be yours now? Right?
None. Yeah, it definitely used to be because I liked the people a lot more. I don't like Sutton.
I know. I mean, I definitely think
drives me up the wall.
It used to be, I mean, all the cities I think used to be a lot better, but I think I like Beverly Hills most now because it still does feel like we have those real relationships, and in some of our other franchises it feels super forced.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I mean, I'm watching Salt Lake, but we're not like discussing that, and it's OC and Beverly Hills. Like, I'm not watching any others anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad.
I know.
But like Roni is trash.
Right.
And I've never is Potomac? That's on still, right?
I believe so.
But I've never watched Potomac.
I've never watched them. Yeah, because there's a bunch of them that kind of like came out and like went away.
Remember they had Dallas?
Yeah, they had Dallas, DC.
Oh, Miami is still that came back.
I know. I never went back to it, but I loved that one too. I loved Joanna and Marta, her sister. There's a couple other ones where it was like they just went away.
Yeah. I went in and out of Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta, that one was a fun one.
Yeah, and then now they have Dubai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Atlanta, I used to just always watch the reunions for some reason because they would just
go at it. Well, it was iconic when you had Candy, Nene,
I know, and they
Kim.
were like saying the craziest things to each other, and you're like when Kim was like, when I got diagnosed with cancer, and then it was like they were like, oh, she's like, well, no, why she was like explaining her wig thing, and we're like, okay, so why do you have the wigs on?
I know, and everything with what did she call her? Big Daddy. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
He never came on camera.
No, it was like he's so elusive.
Mythical
like, did he even exist? Yeah. I know. Just so good. And then who else was on that? Phaedra. I don't even know who it was, but remember you see it online all the time where it's like the pregnancy thing. And she's like, well, my due date was then, but they say I might go 2 months early. What? And they're all just like, hold on a second. When? Like nothing was adding up. It's just so good. I know. I would.
Only you knew that you were in the good old days when you were in the good old days. I know
we didn't know, and now it's like so. I still do. Maybe that'll be a winter blues thing that I'll go back and rewatch the old RHONY because it was so good.
They were nuts. So
they were insane
in the best way. I know. They were just.
But it was so real. Like it was real. That is how they were. Like that is Ramona. Like she is. And then we see the evolution of Luann. Mm-hmm. Like it's
the baddie she is now.
I know, literally. Anyway, I guess we can do our recap on OC since we're almost to the finish line on that one. We only have one more episode. This one, part 2 of the reunion, starts with them talking about the Jenn and Ryan situation again, and Jenn just will not back down and is not willing to give 1 inch that Ryan could be culpable in any way. I just the situation is fishy. I don't know how you can seriously have the blinders on that strong. Like it's almost unbearable to watch her defend him like that. Mm-hmm. And I guess she's just pushing it aside and but
she already invested too much.
Right. But in my mind, if somebody's involved in something like that and that's who their friends are, I'm gonna be a little concerned about what other dealings they have. And I think that's what the ladies are trying to say, but she's so just no, he didn't do anything. No. Okay, Jenn, I hope it all works out for you. I'm not sure it's going to. Then they go into, I think, the Tamra stuff with Jenn too. And I was really torn by all this because I was glad that Jenn was standing up to Tamra and making her voice known. And she totally is right. This is what Tamra does. Mm-hmm. And she's not a good friend. And but I'm just almost so desensitized because I'm so used to this behavior from Tamra.
I know.
That I can't even have the strong reaction that Jenn has.
I know, especially if you're not the victim of it.
Yeah.
But, I know. And that's the thing, stuff. That's what was so hard about this season is because Tamra was making good points, but then she'd turn around and be the devil again. Mm-hmm. And it was here we go again. You took away everything good that you were saying.
Right. And it just totally X-nayed it. But for me, it's also a little difficult because, yes, I think that Jenn is making good points and is right. But then she also almost falls a little flat for me because of how hard she also is defending Ryan. Mm-hmm. And I think that she's going to end up looking really foolish for that. And then it's going to in the end prove that Tamra was right. So it's just kind of I don't know. The whole thing is just a little I just don't feel super invested in it. And I'm just so used to Devil Tamra's antics that I just look the other way like everybody else.
Yep.
And then they bring up again with the Jenn money thing and the dress that she bought for the tea party. And I just felt I'm sorry, but then looking back and seeing the montage of her and Glam and her with the Rolex and her going here and her getting that dress, it just, to me, it is a bad look.
Yeah. And obviously when Heather was it wasn't mean or malicious or gossipy. It's well, it was, but not like I probably would have did that too.
I would have done it
if
too.
If I was questioning that person, like, where are they getting this money when we're talking about nonstop how broke they are? And then they're coming in with all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm probably going to too. And honestly, Tamara shouldn't have said anything.
Right.
And she did that.
But of course she did.
She had to start something. But it's like,
I could totally see us in that exact situation. And I'd like text you the price tag.
She's paid this much for it. She's only getting $6,000 or whatever a month. She just spent a third of it on a dress.
And then when she's like, well, Ryan paid for it. But that's part of the problem.
Right.
Like, don't you see that is the issue? You're still living beyond your means because you're relying so much on him. And then it's like, well, I make a car payment, but it's Ryan's car. Well, yeah, he got a different car and I make the payment on this. Okay, so like you wouldn't have been able to get that car yourself.
Right.
It was Ryan's.
Right.
Like, I do think that it comes off as like just kind of snarky, but underneath it all, it is concerning.
Right. Because it's like multiple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's mean, but I don't know. We'd probably all do it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not nice. And like, I wouldn't want that person to find out I did that.
Yeah. But it is just hard when, like you said, I mean, she divulges the sad information about like the court case with her ex and how that's going.
Well, and I wonder too, because I was just, it kind of reminds me of when Chelsea from Teen Mom was trying to get Adam to pay like child support, and Adam kept trying to come back with, well, what about how much Cole makes? And that should be accounted for too. Like, why do you need so much money from me when, you know, you're not just not making any money? And it obviously was like the principle of everything. But it was like, I wonder if this could come back on Jenn too. Like, well, you're living with this guy who makes this much money and they're going to get married.
Right. And you've openly said that he helps support you.
Right. And I wonder if that acts. And I don't remember what ended up happening with that Adam thing, if that like had any weight to it. But I just was like, I don't know. She should probably quit running her mouth that she's doing so well.
Right. Yeah.
With Ryan. I almost called him Adam. With Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if the ex could be like, well, if you have all this, you know, 15,000, million in here, whatever.
Why do you need
money
then?
From me?
Yeah, I know. I did think it was, the whole thing seems really odd. Like, I want to know what the heck happened here. Like, he was working for her family, obviously had a really good job because they were doing well. They had like 5 kids.
Right.
And then she stepped outside of the marriage, allegedly physically, but definitely emotionally.
Right.
And then that's what kind of like put their divorce and everything into, you know, motion. But like, what is going on in his life? Because now he's no longer working for her family, which, okay, I could understand that. Like, that would be really messy.
Right.
But like, is he okay? Like, can he not make payments because
something,
like,
or
he
I know
doesn't have a job? Like, what is going on?
Because I was thinking about that too, and then I was like, I don't know, that would be really hard to want to give her money after she like left the marriage, whether it was a good marriage or not, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, he probably is dragging his feet, but I wondered that too. I'm like, which is it? Is it because he just really doesn't want to? Because when she was like, I went up to the door, and he was just like, get out of here, you freak. And that he won't talk to her at all. So I was like, maybe he just really does not want to give her money.
I also don't necessarily think that in that situation, like, Jenn is the most like sympathetic person.
I know. And I know they were like, she doesn't talk bad about him or whatever. Or she always talks respectfully about him. And I was like,
and like, sure. But at the same time, if you're that ex and now you're watching, like, he already had to sign for his kids to be able to be filmed.
Right. Or just even the fact that she like did this thing and is like getting rewarded for it. Not even just like a financial reward, but like you get to be on a TV show.
Right. Yeah. And like living this apparent fairy tale life with Ryan.
The hot young guy.
I mean, it's such a slap in the face, you know? And even if she is being really respectful, like it would still piss you off.
I know. It's like you would think.
Yeah.
And I know. I wondered that too. I'm like, is he just mad and doesn't want to give her money, or can he not give her money? Or
and
is it a little bit of both?
If she comes to the door and is like, I just want to talk about this.
Right?
I'd be like,
Get
no.
out of here.
Like I'd probably slam it too. You know, the way that she can be like, and I don't think that she is trying to be like malicious in any way. It's just the way that it kind of...
I think she genuinely is like, I don't get it. He won't talk to me.
I do too. But how that is so annoying because you're like, how do you not understand?
Right.
You know?
I'm mad at you.
Yeah. But I don't know. I also just looking at Jenn, and this is like a little bit mean, but like she's had a lot of work done like on her body and her face. And like that is annoying too. It's like, but yet you talk about how you're in so much debt and can't pay for this and that. And I see that you like your body looks amazing, but like I can tell that you've gotten lipo on your stomach. I can tell that you've gotten like maybe a facelift or Botox at the very least. It's like, you know that stuff is happening, and it's just like we know how much that kind of stuff costs.
Yep.
So it's just like such poor money management.
I know. It's definitely keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, it definitely is. They talk about stuff with Gina and Travis, and that whole thing just sounds absolutely horrible.
I know.
And now it makes more sense. Kind of the beginning of the season when Gina was being really like elusive about why she wanted them to move into different spaces, and now we know
she wanted to take the kids to Disneyland.
She wanted to spend her money on her own kids and not Travis's. Like, but now that this ex is apparently trying to make scandals where there aren't any, I guess I just like, I don't know. I do feel for her in that situation, but this is where I just think that it gets so messy when you are, you know, a divorcee and you're dating another divorcee and there are kids involved. Like,
and you move everyone in together. Yeah. And I think we talked about too. I'm like, I don't know what the timeline of that was, but now you had to rip everyone apart.
And you are dealing with exes and you don't know, like, I don't know. I just think that at first you're like, oh, we're this big blended family and we just fell in love and this is going to be great. But are you thinking about all these other factors? And this ex is going to be in your life forever because the kids are tied to your now partner.
Right.
And I don't know, like the way that this woman, this ex of Travis's sounds, like, I really don't know if that would be something I could put up with.
I know.
Like, it just sounds really bad. Yeah. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah.
But
then, like, will it ever end?
Yeah. You know? Like, will they ever be able to move in together again? Like, I don't know. And we talk about, like, Emily's weight thing again, and the Heather comment comes back up, which I truly think that Heather was saying more like the dress was tight on her. It wasn't big. Like she made it like, I don't think she was trying to be like, she's so fat the dress was tight.
I think she was like, it fit.
Yeah. But that was brought up again, and Emily of course was like upset about it, and then Heather's like, you make so many digs at me, and I was like, I had enough. And then she's like, yeah, but when I do it, like, people expect that from me.
I thought that was crazy when she said that. I was like, oh, so you just get to be mean all the time, and then if somebody, I don't know, stands up for themselves, that's not okay. Or
like, just because some of your little quips might be funny, it's fine that you're being
still mean.
Yeah, like you're still saying, like, she said some horrible things about Heather.
Well, she's been mean She's been said horrible things to Jenn, horrible things to Alexis, horrible things to Heather.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Yeah, and
it's
she
just
said
the way
stuff
she
to
is.
Gina too.
I know. I just didn't like. I do like Emily overall, but I really did not care for her this season.
Yeah, I was gonna say this season was not it.
No, and I just don't like when people are like, "Oh, this is just the way I am. Take me or leave me." It's like, yeah, but you're just not nice though. Right. Like you're being straight up mean,
blunt or saying it like it is. Yeah, you're just mean.
You're just being mean, and you know what you say,
and it makes you look really insecure.
Well, because she is,
which we found out.
Yeah. Then the whole weird thing with Katie and her daughter, Kylie, and we find out that Kylie is making these bizarre TikToks about the ladies.
But it's like the thing, too, is it's like she's probably watching the season and watching people be mean to her mom. Like, it's just such a, like, the way everything is edited and everything. I don't know. It's just like.
But I do think that Katie has that like inappropriate friend relationship with her daughter. So it's like if anybody else's kid were to do that, I do believe that they would be like, absolutely not, take that down. But Katie is like, oh, that was a good one, Kylie. Like, yeah. And I mean, to be like, she's an adult. Like, that's such a cop-out. Like, okay, then obviously you don't think any of these women are your real friends, which takes away from the show as a whole. And, like, I don't know, why are you here then? That's what it just makes me think. Like, if you're not going to, I don't know, stand up for these women in any way, like, then why are you on the show? I don't know. It just... I felt like she just kept sticking her nose in places it didn't belong, even in this reunion, and it was kind of annoying me. Did we already talk about, do we think that she'll be back for another season?
I don't know if we talked about it or not.
Do you think that she will?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because she doesn't really have a ton of stuff going on. But I also don't really see a reason why they wouldn't have her back for at least one more season.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's like we had so much Shannon stuff that I feel like nobody really got any
other stuff. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's true.
Even like Heather, it was just people being mean to her.
Yeah, we didn't get any like other storyline of Heather. After all that, Alexis comes out, and I honestly thought Alexis looked so good. Like,
she did look good.
She looked great. And this was kind of like a mess when she came out. She talked about, I thought it was kind of funny just from us having like a Catholic background when they were talking about the religion thing. And then when she was like, it's God first, your spouse, then your kids. And then I think like Gina was like, oh my God. But like, that's literally what they say it should be.
Literally. And they like do that at the church that I've gone to as an adult. And that's not even Catholic per se, but it's like, no, that is real.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they were acting like that.
That was insane.
Like, I've literally heard people say that in my real life.
I know. And I guess maybe if you're just not a religious person, like that might be shocking to you. I know, it might sound weird. But like, that is normal what they say that it should be. Yeah, God should be first. I'm like,
and your kids aren't supposed to come before your spouse.
Yeah.
They usually do.
But not on paper.
No.
Not if you're talking to God.
I know.
I just thought that was kind of funny, people's reactions. And then Shannon kept making these comments about like Alexis being on reality TV and it being her career. And I'm like, it's yours. It's all of yours.
I know.
Here.
I was like, what?
I didn't understand that at all.
I know, I was stupid. I was over that chaotic thing, and I wish Andy would have controlled it.
I wish he would have too, because it was
just
ridiculous.
Stupid.
And I'm sorry, we don't need to give Shannon her sounding board on this one. Like
how long did it take you to rehearse that? There's the door.
Yeah.
The door. I'm like, you just rehearsed
yes,
that.
you literally were thinking about that for how long, Shannon? Like, come on. I know you don't like her. You're still hurt by the John Jansen thing. Understandable.
No, and then when she was like, everybody says to me, like, I don't know how you're doing that, like filming with her. I'm like, yeah, because why aren't you asking your producers why they brought this woman on the show?
And you know what? I do believe that they were saying the exact same thing to Alexis. Like, I believe it because Shannon was
so hard.
Like, it's so annoying. Like, we're just giving her this edit of like, oh yeah, will you get free reign to just say anything you want? And like, I don't know, whatever. It's not even worth talking about it that much. Now they're talking about like the suit at the time, and now we know it has been settled. They came to some sort of an agreement. I don't know if we'll ever know what that monetary agreement was. But
so did we officially find out if there was these videos of her almost hitting the daughter?
I don't know. And that was the thing too. Like yes, Alexis said these videos, but the only person who said what it was freaking Katie.
I know.
Like we had no idea what these videos were.
Videos. I know. So I'm like, so is that true or not? And then,
I don't know.
And then Alexis kind of was like, well, he didn't bring this up. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I guess not. I don't know. It was just like, what are on these videos?
I guess I believe that they do exist. I mean, I think that would be insane for them to completely make that up. Like, if they didn't exist at all. Like, that would be wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know. We'll never know what those videos show.
I want to know.
I know. That horrid night that just sounds absolutely out of nightmares. And then we keep coming back to that stupid lawsuit from Jim Bellino all those years ago, and Shannon is still so upset about it, and she thinks that text from Alexis is that smoking gun. And I'm just so baffled by this, because how are you seriously saying that her just texting you is what ignited the lawsuit?
I know.
Like,
and
that's not it.
I know. It's just so.
Like, it just is silly. And then how people are like, oh, yes, Shannon. Like, what?
I know. It's like, well, sometimes when you're with someone, Shannon, and it's like, I don't even get what her argument is. It's like, yeah, she was upset for her husband.
Right.
And then he sued you. I don't know what.
Because even if they weren't together at the time, like, it still affected her life with their kids.
Right. So I don't get why it's like, well, you were the mastermind behind all this.
Yeah.
It's like, even if she was, it's too bad.
Okay.
He did it anyway because that was important to him.
And
I don't know.
She was not on the suit as like, the main, what would that be? The accuser or whatever. I don't know. But she wasn't listed on there as that. No. They didn't jointly file a lawsuit. Right. So I think that's so dumb. And it's like, why are we giving Shannon this as like ammo on her side? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then we kind of just end it with Shannon again, just like yelling nonsense and saying more stuff about how, like, just taking digs at like, oh, it's her career. It's her career. This is your career. Like, I so am confused by that. Like, it's your career too. Yeah. You're literally on this reality show and other shows, and you're an influencer. Like, this is your career. Yeah. So I don't get the point that you're trying to make. No. And I feel like Alexis is even like, what? Like, yeah.
It is. That's why we're all sitting here together.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And I didn't think that Andy did. He just let it go, and I wish that he would have.
Just stupid. It was unproductive and stupid.
And it just is silly because why are we, I guess, okay, we can say we brought Alexis in to like rile Shannon up, but that's also so mean towards Alexis. Like, why put somebody in that position?
Right. As like this trigger.
Yeah. And then just to
get abused.
Right. And it's one thing being in the season where you can like do other things.
Right.
But then to have her come out on the reunion just to be yelled at and berated by Shannon and have nobody defend her. And then next episode, Emily goes in. Like, I don't even know why Emily can't stand Alexis.
Jealousy.
I mean, you're probably right. Because she says some horrible things to her
I know.
in the preview.
She calls her like a dumb and like all these things. Like, stop calling her stupid. Like
that's just so mean.
I know. It's like, I know.
And then what did in the preview? I think Alexis says something like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, speaking about, I don't even know if it was Gina and Emily or Shannon and Emily. And then Emily's like, don't call me dumb. It's like, it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the names of two very famous characters.
Literally, that are just like the same person.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? And the amount of times that you've said horrible things about Alexis.
And they keep going, you're just a friend of. It's like,
okay, it's still, she's still getting a paycheck and she's still on the same show as you.
Yep.
Like, it's dumb. I mean, I never thought I would be an Alexis Bellino defender, but here I am defending her. But it's just because I don't really feel like she did anything wrong this season. She did exactly what she was put on this show to do.
I know, which was upset Shannon.
Yeah.
It worked.
And you know what? I hope that she and John Jansen do work out just so that they can prove them all wrong.
Yes.
Because if they don't actually get married and make it, then it's going to really fall flat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But the last part of the reunion will air tomorrow, Thursday, and then we will be done recapping OC. And they've actually, it felt like it went fast but slow at the same time, because when they brought up like the feud that Gina and Jenn had at that cafe, I'm like, oh my God, I almost forgot about that. Like, that seemed like forever ago.
I know.
So, yeah, and then we'll, I guess, maybe get into Beverly Hills. But I did just want to say, just to comment on the ladies of Beverly Hills, Dorit and Erica look so good. Like, I don't know if they have like a filter on the camera for the show, but they look unbelievable. Like, their faces just look great. Their bodies are hitting. The hair, the looks, like, they just look so good.
Good.
So it's just fun to watch. And I love the richness of Beverly Hills. Like, that's my favorite part too. It's just, it's so decadent.
It is.
And that's honestly what we want from these franchises, is something that I never will be able to have. I want to see it on screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have a recommendation?
I don't think this is the one I did last week, but I got this butter from Trader Joe's.
Oh, what kind of butter?
Maple syrup and brown sugar.
What?
And I wish I would have got a bunch of them. So good. On toast.
What?
It's so good.
So it's like a compounded butter, like and what does it come in? Like, what kind
It's in like a little like plastic packaging, but then I put it in like a container.
Yummy.
So good. And it's very spreadable. I mean, it's a little solid, but once you put it on that warm toast, kids love it. It's so good. It even smells amazing. Like, when you open it up, it's like, oh,
heaven.
So good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really delicious.
It's amazing.
I'm going to have to, I don't know. I was thinking about going this weekend, but I don't know if I will or not.
You know, once it starts getting cold, it gets hard to get over there.
I know, and it's not that big of a deal, but you're just like, I don't want to drive all the way.
I know.
Even though I will, but in the summer, it's so much easier. Like I have no problem.
Like, whoa, let's go to the grocery store. But when it's cold, I
have a hard time.
I know.
I guess I am going to recommend, I'm going to have to like find some type of recipe because this is from a store that's like only in my small town, but they have these red velvet cookies and they are so freaking good. And they have white chocolate chunks.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
a good idea.
Yeah, but also regular like chocolate chunks in them.
Oh, fun.
And they're big cookies and they're like not fully baked. So they're really like just moist. And I like when a cookie isn't fully baked all the time. And they are so good. So I'm going to have to try and find a recipe because I want to make them myself. So I'll do a little research and link one that I think would be the closest to this stores. But I had them one time and I was like dreaming about it. But like, I don't want to be that psycho that just goes in to get like one cookie every time. But so I went in yesterday or 2 days ago and got one and it was so worth it. It's so good.
Well, this is a perfect time for all those. Why can't we have good treats like that all year?
I know. I want like that rich, sweet treat. It's so delicious.
It's that time of the year.
I know, that time of the year when you bake because it's so nice. Then your like house is a little bit warmer because the oven's going. I know. I love it. Next week, do we want to do a book club?
Probably should.
So everybody buckle up for book club. It'll be a wild ride. Just prepare yourself for, I guess, maybe, I don't even know the words to say.
For us to discuss the privileged white woman.
Yeah, I don't think
that feels she's very oppressed.
I don't think you'll feel a lot of sympathy.
No. I have a way that I think she should have did this book.
Okay.
That I think would have been more compelling. It's
Okay.
not that deep, but I think she could have did this book
different,
and still have had all the same stories.
Well, that's tune in next week and you can
find out.
That'll be Men Have Called Her Crazy. So yeah, make sure that you are finishing that if you were reading along, and then we'll discuss it all next week. And then I don't know what we're going to do for our next book club. I did just put a hold on Keke Palmer's new book. It says I'm about 12 weeks out, but my library didn't have a lot of copies.
Sometimes they start acquiring more.
I know. So that might be an interesting one just because I think she'll have some funny stories in there.
You know.
But we'll have to discuss and see what we want to read next.
I'm not sure what I got in the lineup, but anywho.
Anyway, yeah. Make sure that you follow us. You can find us on socials and anywhere where you listen to your podcasts. Make sure you tell your friends and leave us a nice rating and review because that would help us so much on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, and we had a technical difficulty. So we're sorry.